Panther Nation podcast. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, cut it. Cut right. And I would like to introduce one of the hottest podcasts in Carolina history. Let's go. Yo, talk less chat. We got time to chop it up. Talking analytics and fantasy draft. You know what's up. Panther Nation representing, cause this is where we talk that. Talk that's so incredible. Make them rewind that talk back. Pause. Talking Panthers football, we discussing it all. On and off the field, you know exactly who to call. You know we the #1 podcast. Competition is non-existent, you need to stop that. Pause. It's an honor to be a Panther fan. Pause. At Bank of America, that is where we ball. Coming to the jungle, then you gonna feel the pause. Winning the trophy for the city, it is the call. Black, white, and blue, we going Carolina strong. And this is the conversation where everyone belongs. Discussing all the numbers and topics, you know we got it. We the hottest podcast, and we poppin'. Let's go.
Let's transition into kind of what's going on to the Panthers now, because I feel like have you been in tune? Have you watched? You kind of know what's going on with the Panthers in our quarterback situation, because we got a guy by the name of Sam Darnold, and I want to know if you like. I want to know your thoughts because we all have our opinions about him, but
Sure.
our opinions really don't matter. You are a professional quarterback. You played the position. You know what it's like to play good football. So Sam Darnold. Can we have your thoughts on whether he can be fixed or not?
You know, I was so excited for him going into last year because I thought getting that whole New York Jets experience behind him was going to be really good for him. And the way it started out, obviously, there were a lot of good things that happened the first few games of the season. And I think he was the leading rushing quarterback in the NFL at that time, or, you know, at least as far as touchdowns were
Touchdowns,
concerned.
yeah.
But let me go back. I'll say this: you know, when Sam came out, I thought he was a good college quarterback. I did not think he was worthy of a top 10 pick. I did not see it. I didn't think he was that kind of a talent. And you know, I felt the same way about Johnny Manziel. I feel the same way. I said the same thing about Baker Mayfield. I can go down the list of a lot of these guys that I've kind of called it on. And going forward this year, I'll say the same thing. You got it for me right now. Matt Corral, I think, is overrated right now. I don't think he's going to be an incredible pro quarterback. But we'll change the topic back to what we were talking about. I really thought that the Panthers should have stayed with Teddy Bridgewater. I feel like Sam Darnold was not an upgrade. I felt that Teddy Bridgewater got the raw deal the year before. COVID offseason. You know, learning a new offense, no Christian McCaffrey, all those things working against him. I was like, this guy can play. And Sam Darnold is not an upgrade to Teddy Bridgewater. So
Rashad,
speaking our language,
I think you got your preview slide.
That is exactly what we said.
Yeah.
That's the same exact words. You could be the third member of the Panther Nation podcast. We said those exact same words.
The thing for me was always like when they made the decision to get rid of Cam, while I understood it, I was like, okay, if you're going to bring Teddy in here, give him time, build around him. Because you know, like Teddy's not Cam, right? We don't expect him to be Cam. He's a guy that can win you some games if you put the pieces around him. Right. They didn't put the pieces around him.
No, they didn't. And they didn't give him a chance to really grow him. That was the COVID offseason was the year he got there. You know, they didn't have any offseason program, I don't think. And preseason was all messed up, and then to go into the season. And I know everybody was in the same boat. I get that. I understand that. But so the question is, do I think Sam Darnold can do it? I think he can be a good quarterback. I think Teddy Bridgewater is a good quarterback. And I think Teddy Bridgewater would have done a lot better in his second year in that system. And I think that would have been a better year last year than it was with Sam Darnold. And I hope that Sam has a great year. I hope that he, I can't imagine they're going into the season with the quarterback situation as it is right now, that they're not going to do something to address it. So we'll see. We'll see.
So let's kind of dive into that, because you kind of you jumped ahead a little bit earlier. You talked about Matt Corral not being a top 10 guy. So is there a quarterback that we picked, just for frame of reference, we picked number 6,
Right.
and we don't have any second or third round picks. So we're not picking again to the 4th round. So we don't have any draft capital, and we're stuck. Offensive line has improved in free agency, but we could still use a left tackle, some good left tackle talent out there. So do you think there's a quarterback worth taking at number 6?
I don't see one this year. I really don't. And I think the Panthers could trade down and get one of the quarterbacks, if there's one that they like, aside from Corral. I think Corral will go, it seems like everybody's pretty high on him for some reason. And I think believe me, I think he was a really good college quarterback, but I don't think he's big enough in the style that he plays. I just think he's going to get beat up the way that he runs the football. And I saw him against Alabama. I did that game on the radio, and he did nothing that whole game. And I know Alabama's Alabama, but if you're talking about a guy that's a top 5 pick in the NFL, he better make a few plays. And he has some talent out there at wide receiver. And every once in a while, a top 5 pick got to make a great throw and into tight coverage, whatever it might be. He didn't make any throws that whole day. And I saw what I needed to see. I was like, okay, I don't expect Mississippi to win, but I expect to see something out of this kid to show why, everybody's saying he's a first-round pick. I just didn't see it. So the other guys, I think Malik Willis has got a chance. I'm looking at my list here. Pickett, I think has got a chance. I'm not real high on Howell or Desmond Ridder. I think they all have a chance to be players, but I don't think any of them is a guy that you say he's going to have a really, no doubt about it, good NFL career. I think Willis and Pickett will probably be there all the way down to maybe 15 or 16. And I think that may be the way they should go, because you can get value for that. You can get an extra pick or two, high pick or two. You're talking about how we don't have a lot of draft choices near the top. If you can get another first-round pick in there or a high second-round pick, I think it's worth moving back if you want to get a quarterback.
Yeah, we agree. I think we're all on the same page. We agree with the trade back, and I'm not. It's just tough, because I think with these quarterbacks, it's the situation matters, right? Because coming to Carolina with the lame duck head coach, he's on the hot seat this year.
Right.
I find it real. From a fan perspective, I'm not one to say let's just go grab a guy just because we have a gap. There's so many different layers to peel back with the coach being there, and we don't want to pick him and then he get fired, and now you're in a situation where you get Josh Rosen or something like that, or like Justin Fields right now.
With Justin
Fields. And it could really set you back if you make the wrong decision. And so I think the way that they have it set up, and I think I'd like your thoughts on this. Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo, I think those guys may be an option. What do you think about some of the veteran options out there for the Panthers potentially?
Well, I think those two would be, where I'd start. If I could get one of those two guys without having to, give up too much. I think those are guys that have shown enough in their career to warrant giving them a shot and to improving your quarterback position. As I said, I'm not sold on Baker Mayfield. I do think Jimmy finds a way to win, and I think that he can be a liability in the big games, but he consistently finds a way to win. And if there's a way to get him into the Panthers fold, I think that'd be a really nice move, and it would allow you to develop a young quarterback under him for the next couple of years, and build the whole team around him and get to the point where they could. He's shown he can take a team to the playoffs. The Niners, he did it. How far he can take them, I don't know. Baker, there's a lot more questions. Where's his confidence at right now? I played a full season, one of those years I told you about, with the same exact injury that he had on his left shoulder. And no one even knew about it because we just gutted it out, played through it, and, never used it as an excuse. If you're out there on the field, you got to play, man. You got to produce. You got to find a way to get it done. That's the bottom line.
1000% agree. Dave, we're going a little bit over our time. I know we said 20 minutes. Dave, do you got any final questions?
I'm having a good time, man.
Yeah, man. Well, let me see here. So, what do you think about the offensive lineman in this draft? Because I think there's been a lot of speculation about us taking one at 6 if we end up not being able to trade out of a pick.
Yeah, I can tell you that I haven't really studied the O-line as much as I should have. I usually do a draft preview show the week before the draft on CBS Sports Network. We didn't do it this year for some reason where I really get into studying all of it. This year I kind of took a little bit of a siesta as far as really trying to get a feel for all the other positions that are out there. I do know there's a lot of good left tackles and guys that could play either side, as Rashad said. And Darnold, we can talk about why he didn't succeed last year. That O-line was a little bit of a liability too, and that has to be improved, and it's got to get better for anybody to really be consistently successful. Yeah. So that would be an obvious area where if you're trading down, there's 3 or 4 guys that are legitimate, solid NFL first round tackles. I know this year coming out. So. That'd be a good move, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I'm most certainly down with fixing the offensive line. I agree with your assessment that, even for Teddy, the offensive line wasn't that great. They didn't do much to improve it going into this year.
Right.
But now they've, like you said earlier, when you mentioned that they've miraculously gone out and fixed everything. Now this is the year they went up and picked up Bradley Bozeman from the Ravens. They went and got Austin Corbett from the Rams, and so now they paid some attention to it, and so I think it's going to get better. And I think that last piece is either picking up a left tackle or a solid guard. So we'll see what happens with the draft. I'm interested.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I'm sure Christian McCaffrey would appreciate it too. And I'll tell you, I do like the pickup of Deontay Foreman.
Oh, I love it too.
I think that's going to be a nice 1-2 punch.
We got to add this man to the show. We got
to give him the hop on, man. If he doesn't run into LA traffic, like if he could dodge LA traffic like you, man, we could get him on the show next week or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I'll make myself available for you, but I really do think that having a guy like that that you can give it to 15 times a game as well, and limit Christian to where he's just touching it 15 to 18 times a game at the most. Because you might actually have him get through a season, and we'll see what happens there. So
speaking my language, man, I feel like I feel vindicated in a lot of things I've said over the past few years because you've seconded a lot of things I've said. So
well, if you're thinking that way, then you guys are every bit as sharp as I think you are. So
I appreciate that.
I got to give a shout out. I got to give a shout out to my man Muhsin Muhammad. And Wesley Walls, who's living there in Charlotte, he might find this deal as well. There's Muhsin right there. I love it. We had a lot of good time. We both kind of broke out together in his second year, and Wesley Walls as well, and the third guy in that receiver trio. I see Wesley. Third guy was Patrick Jeffers. I don't know if you remember that.
Guy, he loves Patrick Jeffers,
man.
He was when Ray Caruth did what he did. Patrick Jeffers got the chance to come in and start after the 4th game. In 12 games, Patrick Jeffers had 12 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards receiving as a starter. So, I mean, that showed what kind of year he had. In the next year, in the preseason, we played the Pittsburgh Steelers on that old, that old freaking turf field that they had out there. And he blew his knee out, got a caught on second base, one of the seams out there and blew his knee out. He never got a chance to come back. So sad story. But he's a heck of a player. And, a lot of great memories.
Yeah.